can summon the interest of spirits by developing an interest about them. Knowledge is attractive in the realm of the spirit. Anything you begin to study about is attracted to you. If I begin to talk about Satan back to back, Lucifer, the hidden mystery of his calling, all of these things, one of these days he will whisper something to me, because for him what I am is an oracle of his knowledge. He finds out that every time I open my mouth, I am releasing light that pertains to his nature. So he will come to aid me to release what is commensurate with his current stature. Number two, I've dwelt here for too long. After you've built capacity, locate a high place. Locate a high place. Please tell your neighbor, locate a high place. Please again, just tell your neighbor, locate a high place. Anakazo, what is a high place? High places are regions where men offer sacrifices. Altars are built upon high places. High places are places of worship. But in the Old Testament, high places are locations, geographical locations. But according to the New Testament, a high place is not necessarily a location. Men too can become high places. There's a house in television here. I'm going yellow. I need your attention. I want to share something with you. It was a brothel where prostitutes carried out the full expressions of the burdens of their lust, and they did that for several years, over 20 years. So they were valid altars of immorality, and incense of immorality that rises from that space perpetually. And then suddenly a man retired from NMBC and decided to buy that house and drove out the prostitutes, and he used a different paint to change the paint of the house, removed the old zinc and put aluminum zinc on top, and physically the house looked like it has been renovated. But unfortunately, all the tenants that moved into the new house, it is the quarrel of tenants sleeping with themselves that ended their stay in that house. So they didn't know why they were having abominable practices within the same small space. How the father of family A is sleeping with a 5-year-old girl of his neighbor, and the man is offended. While he is being offended, as they are talking in that anger, so that he will hurt this person too, he now told him that I am sleeping with your wife too, and the house scattered. And it was immorality in a way, a shade that was not, it was unheard of. And when a prophet came, he found out that your problem is not you, it is the government that is in your space. So you are helplessly at the mercy of the government within that space. So that house looks like a house, but in the realm of the spirit, it is a high place. It's a high place for the altar of immorality. That is how you can enter certain places too, and there will be a peculiar temptation that has been registered with those regions. That side you entered is a high place. It was Jacob that was running from his brother Esau, and he stumbled upon a high place on the earth, a place that when he woke up, the only description he had was, this is the gate of heaven. It was a high place, a place where spiritual activity was intense. It was Jesus that said to Nathanael, is it just because I told you I saw you under a tree that you are calling me the Messiah? He says, wait until you see the heavens open and angels ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. Wait until I become a high place. Have you come around some people and immediately they were not dressed badly, they were dressed very modestly, but the aura of lust is strong around them? Ladies, hear me. Are you wondering why all the guys that come around you only want to sleep with you and leave? If this is your predicament, I bring your deliverance tonight. Are you wondering why no matter how much you want to keep yourself, it just looks like people want to just have a carnal knowledge of you and move away? It was while men slept that the princes in darkness erected a high place over your life. And those people are only helplessly at the mercy of the call on the mountains. Your life has become a high place. Unfortunately, you know what you represent. There's a brother I shared with you guys. His name was Brother Gadzama. He was a high place on campus. If you stand around him, you will start crying for your sin. And we knew what he carried. And he was just a brother with a t-shirt. A high place. It was purity that was emitting from him. We were at Makurdi, I am Pastor James. That was last year for Eagles conference. IC. And one of the resource persons Apostle Arome Osai brought was sharing how, I think it's Reverend Shegun, how when Pastor Kumuyi came to Kaduna in the 90s and he just came out of the car, and Reverend Shegun was one of the people who hosted the program, so he was rushing to go and make obeisance and collect his Bible, and he just looked into Kumuyi's eye. Kumuyi just looked into his eye and said, "How are you?" He started crying. He said, the "how are you" came like you are filthy. There was so much purity in where the "how are you" came from. So to relate with where he is fellowshipping with, he felt like, he said he started telling himself, Shegu, you need to start praying. Shegu, you are not trying your spirituality. Restlessness entered him. He met a high place. The end of any sin is not pleasure. The interest of spirit is to make you an envoy. And when you become an envoy, you become an altar call. You are like a sound crier, inviting men to come and fellowship in the same thing that has humbled you. So if righteousness is the nature that you are broken under, it is righteousness that your life will be inviting men to ascend the mountains that you have become.